Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be in Joomla land. Welcome to episode 8. Yes, we're feeling chastised, and we know it's been a while since we put an episode together, so we're back. And today we've got nearly half an hour with Jinx, Johan Janssens, who's lead developer with Joomla Project. And the time we spent with Jinx is largely focused on the Google Summer of Code, but there's a few other questions in there you might find interesting about the forthcoming release of Joomla 1.5.
Oh, hi Johan, welcome to Joomla Juice again.
Hi Pete, thanks for having me again.
How's things?
Well, it's still going. And it's, we're getting there.
Because, I've noticed there's been a bit of anxiety and frustration with people wondering when it was going to come out. Do you want to make a comment about roadmaps for me? I'll put you on the spot.
yeah, we're diving straight in. Well, it hasn't been easy to clearly pinpoint when it will be ready. 1.5, that is. It's not that we have still so much to do, or that we are adding new features or adding new stuff. It's just that we are finishing off, and we're just trying to get the beta ready to a point that it's a firm beta, so that in the weeks to go to stable, it won't take us another 3 months to get it stable, but it would be a short amount of time. So that's why we're taking the time now to get it to a decent beta release.
Because in reality, this is the first real newborn for Joomla itself, isn't it?
Yeah, that's also very important, and also a reason why we want to do it very good. We want to really deliver like a beautiful new baby, so to say.
I'm sure the code doctors would want to know just how much Mambo legacy code is going to be in there.
Well, besides the legacy files, are for the backwards compatibility, and we're still going at like 85% of backwards compatibility, so we're very happy with that. Besides those files, not a lot, maybe 10%, 5%.
Okay. So you just threw everything out and started from scratch by the sound of it.
Well, it's not that we really started from scratch. It's that while we went on, we rewrote stuff, and we kept going. And we are now at a point that the framework that has created below the CMS is so powerful that it's very easy to add little things to it. It's also very easy because the framework hasn't changed anymore since Alpha 2. We have done a few refactors here and there to improve some of the flexibility. But as we said with Alpha 2, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we have been using that framework to refactor our core components, like our content component, which is a very large component. The last 2 weeks we have been working on the menu manager, which is still under heavy fire. Andrew and Lewis have done a great job there, and we also worked on the media manager because we felt that those two were components that could really use a fresh up, and they're almost done. So
okay, so
it's looking good.
Whilst you're not going to put a date on the calendar, you're in optimization phase yet. Would that be fair to say?
Not completely. We would be in optimization phase if those components would be done. And as I wrote on the forums 2 days ago, we haven't set a date yet because it's very hard to say how much time we have every week to work on the different tasks. But the task list is slowly shrinking. So it's looking very good at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'll take the pressure off you for the moment. I won't ask you any more tough questions.
Thanks.
very interested to see your involvement with the Summer of Code and Google again.
Yeah, we were very happy to be invited again this year on the Summer of Code to be able to participate.
And you were involved with that. Just sort of, we'll give a bit of history. You were involved with that last year.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I was last year. I was the one who was administrating the Summer of Code. Back then, it was still under the Mambo flag.
Yeah.
And last year we had 5 students, actually 6, but one dropped out. We had 5 students who were funded by Google to write a lot of fancy code over the summer. And this year we also got the opportunity to participate again.
Okay, so last year and from last year we had a few of those participants ended up joining the core team.
Yeah. Last year we gave the students that were interested and that successfully finished their project the opportunity to join the core team, and we announced that I guess in January or December.
Yeah,
not sure.
around that time.
Around that time, it was Sam and Matt and Rick who joined the core team.
Yep. So possibly if these guys do a good job and feel like they want to stay around, we might have some more new talent.
Probably, I hope so.
Okay, so tell us about the projects that they're going to be working on and who we've got.
Well, we got some very exciting projects this year. As we already wrote in our announcement for the Summer of Code, we really wanted to get in projects that were framework level stuff for the next Joomla version, like for Joomla 2.0.
Yep.
We didn't want them to work on components.
Hang on, I'll just jump in there. Joomla 2.0 isn't the forthcoming 1.5. What is the difference between 1.5 and when you talk about Joomla 2.0?
Okay, yeah, that's maybe interesting to clarify. Well, 1.5, what we have tried to do with 1.5 is actually we have tried to use the architecture behind it to its full extent in such a way that we could still offer the 85% backwards compatibility we have achieved. That was one of the goals behind 1.5 all along. It needed to be backwards compatible so that all those third-party developers out there, their components would still function on 1.5. That's also the reason why it's called 1.5 and not 2.0, because of that backwards compatibility.
Okay.
With 2.0, it's going to be a completely new ball game. There are a lot of, or the major features on the roadmap, and the feature that everyone is asking for, like for example, ACL, the access lists, the permissions management. Those features, or that's for example one of the features that can't be done in a backwards compatible way.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing them in a major release, in this case 2.0.
Okay, well that makes it clearer for me too, you know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm working with this stuff each day, so yeah, okay, I understand.
So, okay, funded students. Well, we've got somebody doing Java XML RPC application.
Yeah,
we have J Explorer.
Yeah, it's maybe good to mention that we originally selected 9 students, and Google allocated 6 students. That means that Google is funding 6 students, and we have given the other 3 students who basically fell off the opportunity to still continue their Summer of Code, but well, we can't fund them.
Yeah.
But 2 of them have decided to do so. So in total, we have 8 projects that are going to run this summer.
Okay, so tell us about the projects.
Well, like you mentioned, the first one is a Java XML RPC application. It's a project which already started. It's a project run by Lawrence van der Put. You can find his website at joomlatools.org. He has created, and he already did an excellent job. He created an XML RPC application, which is a Java desktop application that allows you to change the content on your Joomla 1.5 website. So you don't need to go to your website anymore. You don't need to log in anymore and go to the backend to change your texts. But you can just open up this Java application, and then you can delete, add, or change the texts in the content items in your on your website.
Okay, so does this work by basically verifying and doing a handshake with the Joomla install, and then you can... Yeah, it's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Laurens is creating an XML RPC API.
Yeah.
That's what we call that. XML RPC is basically a remote procedure or call. That's the name for it. It allows you to communicate with the website, and Laurens is creating an API for that. And well, during the Summer of Code, he gets the chance to be mentored by a Java guru, and then we will try to take the JExplorer application even to the next step and add more features and add more power.
I just had a thought. Does that mean I could actually do some updates while I was offline and use this Java application to then update?
Well, that's actually one of the things we will be researching.
Yeah?
It's not going to be that easy because then you will need to check out a certain content item. Otherwise, you run the chance that it has already been changed by someone else, or we would need to write something that is capable of merging.
Yeah, because you
content items.
synchronization issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the things that is very interesting to research and to see what we can come up with.
Oh well, Laurens, if you're listening, it's a good idea, isn't it? Okay, so what else have we got?
Well, to go through the list, we have Blagovest. I'm trying to pronounce these guys' names correctly because it's also not very easy for me. But Blagovest is working on Joomla Ajax integration. What basically means is he will be trying to create a framework library that brings a lot of Ajax power to Joomla. And one of the main tasks for him will be to research how we can do things like an Ajax-driven table, for example, where like in the backend at the moment you can publish and unpublish and change the access rights of a certain content item. And then each time you have a page reload, and we want to try to research how we can do that with Ajax. But the most important part of this project is that we basically want to create something in such a way that the third-party developer that is going to integrate this stuff in his third-party extension doesn't need to know anything about Ajax. He will be able to do that through the template library, and it will just magically work.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, if we can get it there.
Yeah.
But the ideas that have been going back and forward in the last week are very interesting. He's also mentored by Restin, which is a web application architect from our community, and this guy also really knows what he is doing. So I expect to see some good results there.
Well, not that you're putting any pressure on, are you?
Well, no. But I already told the guys on the Google group. I said, well, we selected you because we think that you can create some cool stuff, and well, we won't be satisfied with less than that.
Okay, well, you're not.
So the pressure is on already.
Jinx the taskmaster. Why have I got visual pictures of you on a Roman ship with a whip?
Well.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to. You know what you're doing. Package management system for Joomla. What's that?
Yeah. That's a project that already was started last year by Sam, which is now a core developer. Part of this work is already in 1.5 with the unified installer. We now have just one installer for each for any type of extension, so you don't need to know if it's a component, a module, or a plugin. It doesn't matter. And the next step is package management, where we will be able to download a package, and a package can be a single extension, but also a package of multiple extensions. Like I have, like, for example, a component, and I package it with a few modules, and then I download that package from the extension side, and then Joomla installs it for me. So I will have something in my backend to browse all the available extensions on the extension side, and I say, well, okay, I find this an interesting extension, let's install it. And then Joomla will install it for you.
Okay, so there is some communication going on between your own Joomla installation and the extensions side.
And the extension side, indeed. And we're working together with Lee from Mossets, who was so kind to donate Mossets tree to us, and who also worked very hard with us to make the extension side happen, because all the custom development that has been going on there was done by Lee.
Yeah.
And he is also working with basically a team we have created around this, because it's not just a student and a mentor. We have like 4 or 5 people already that are on this small sub team to work on this one.
I think,
because it's a fairly large undertaking. They're basically creating the next version of Mossets.
I mean, from my understanding, there was help me out, but I know that Graham Spice was there and Brad Baker was there, and they worked tirelessly. I don't know if anyone else I've forgotten.
Yeah, there are a few I also don't. I know them by forum sign, but not all by name.
Well, you can tell me who they are by forum sign.
Well, there are a few of them. I think they're doing it with 2 right now, but originally the development was done by 5 or 6 people.
Okay.
Graham was one of them, Lee was one of them, and a few others, Brad. I'm missing a few.
I hear you clicking.
Yeah, I would need to... Sorry, guys. Sorry. It doesn't come to me right now.
It didn't pass us by the amount of work they put in, because the extension site has been huge, a huge success in terms of the amount of use it's getting.
Yeah, it's amazing. All the people that are coming in through the extension side and finding extensions through it. It's also on the rise. I try to go past it like once or twice a week, and I already see that we are way past 600 extensions at the moment.
I was showing somebody today Joomla, and the question came up, what's the extension site? And I showed them, and what can you get there? And I said, well, think of a word. Give me a word. And he said recipe. And sure enough, typed in recipe, and there was 3 recipe components that were available for people to try out.
Yeah.
So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so package management we've done. What's user and access management? I think that's pretty obvious, is it?
Yeah, that's where everybody is screaming for. And we couldn't do it in 1.5 because it would break backwards compatibility. We actually researched it for 2 months. Because Hannes, which is one of the community, or which is the community guy behind ACL, he's the one that has been working on ACL for months already, and he really wanted to get it in 1.5. And actually, me and Lewis, we worked with him to research it, and then we saw that it would break backwards compatibility in such a way that it's almost impossible to do it.
So a bit like putting a great big Chevy V8 into a Mini.
Yeah.
You'd break the Mini.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not possible, unfortunately. There are too many architectural problems with it. But it's the major priority, or it's the first priority for 2.0. And Hannes knows it, so there is even more pressure on him. Poor guy.
Okay, is Hannes listening? I bet he is.
There won't be a 2.0 without ACL.
Yeah.
So
Oh dear. Oh,
Oh, gee.
the English expression is his ears must be burning.
Probably. But well, it's not that he needs to do it on his own.
Yeah.
Alex is mentoring him, and well, I'm sure they will do a great job. And a lot of research has already been done, so it's not that we are starting from scratch.
Yeah.
We know what the problems are, and it's just a matter of putting it all into a nice API and making it ready for 2.0.
Okay. Cross-database support and node-based schema. Now, I mean, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about there.
Yeah, that's one project that is done by Aaron Stone. What it basically means is cross-database support is something we already prepared 1.5 for, but as we have explained to the community already, we can't do it fully because there is still too many hard-coded SQL, and SQL that's basically the language you use to get information from a database.
Yeah.
And those SQL statements, that SQL language differs from database engine to database engine. So there are differences between MySQL and Oracle and Postgres and others. And what we want to try to do is we want to try to create a system that is capable of connecting to any database. And then the SQL you write into your third-party extension or extension will be compatible with all those systems. We will abstract it a little so that it works with all those. That's the idea.
Okay.
There's also something that can only happen in 2.0 because otherwise we will break a lot of backwards compatibility. And then the node-based scheme. Well, the node-based scheme is going to form the basis of 2.0. It's going to be the core, which everything revolves around. To put it very simply, in 1.5 we have sections and categories and items. Everybody knows that. And everybody knows that it's not always very easy to work with because it's also a little bit of a limitation to put things in sections, categories, and items.
Yeah.
And with a node-based scheme, you would have more like a tree structure where you have a category with subcategories with items in it or with extra subcategories in it, and you would be able to much more mold your structure to the needs of your website.
Okay. That sounds like quite a powerful tool.
We hope so.
Yeah. I'm just forecasting if this project comes off, it'll be a really powerful addition, won't it?
It will be very powerful, yeah.
And so you've got Lee from Mozits and Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch is our database expert, and well, he knows everything about cross-database compatibility and things like that. And Lee has already a lot of experience with node-based schemes because he's using that principle already in Mozits. The only difference is that we will now be implementing it into the framework, so it will form the basis of Joomla 2.0.
Okay.
But these guys have a lot of experience in the field, so Aaron will have two very good mentors there.
Excellent. Sounds great. And so who's the last one on the list for the people who've been funded by Google?
Well, probably and hopefully people will have noticed that we're missing one big feature, and that's accessibility.
Yeah.
So, again, a problem with 1.5 is making accessibility happen without breaking all those thousands of templates out there would be a major problem.
Have you run Internet Explorer 7?
Not yet.
Well, it does it all by itself.
Probably.
So sorry, I thought I'd add a little bit of light humour there. I was watching it break Joomla templates with great ease today. So.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So yeah, but getting back to this is Peter Thiessen.
Thiessen, yeah. Well, it's very interesting because Peter works for and now I need to have the name right, the ATRC, which is a research institute in Toronto that works around accessibility. And the guys of that institute will also helping us. So Peter will have Andy Miller as mentor, but we will also be guided by those guys, and of course also by the guys in the accessibility and design working group. And the goal of this project is, well, it's a little bit different than the others, because for Peter we also want him to work on 1.5. We also want him to research accessibility in 1.5, and we will try to create a solution. It's not a perfect solution, and I have seen people comment on it on the forums already. What we want to do in 1.5 is allow you to create an accessible website without hacking it, but by overriding it. So you will be able to override the output of Joomla 1.5 in your template. And we want Peter to create a package, a standard package that can do this. So then if you want to have a 1.5 accessible website, you need to add this package to 1.5, and it will be accessible. The only, well, disadvantage, that's not a major disadvantage, but then none of the external templates will work, so you will need to create your own template also. But for the people that are really into accessibility, that won't be a problem.
Wow. Well, that'd be a good goal to hit.
Yeah, it's a bit different. We really want accessibility to also happen in 1.5, not in the optimal way. The optimal way is that the framework all does it by himself.
Yeah.
But that will be for 2.0. So we will also ask Peter to write a guidelines document to outline how people need to create accessible extensions.
Okay.
And then in 2.0 we will try to put it all into the framework.
While we're actually talking about that, just quickly, the changes we see with 1.5 sees some significant changes in the way templates are rendered.
Yeah.
And so if someone wants to get into template design or go take their current designs to the new design, have you got any tips for them?
Well, a template that is designed for 1.0 should also work on 1.5, and if it doesn't, then people need to contact us, because the goal is that templates for 1.0 are 100% compatible, and we will make sure that also happens. But if you want to start with designing templates for 1.5 only,
yeah,
and also with the future in mind, the template system in 1.5 is based on Pet Template, and Pet Template is a templating engine we will be using in the future to completely separate all the code from the output. So if you want to learn how to create the next generation of templates, then it will be interesting that you look into how we're doing it in 1.5, and it's very, very easy to do, and I will write some more documentation about it. You need to learn, like in the old system, you needed to know about most load module, and you needed to know a few functions. In the new system, those have been replaced by XML-like tags.
Yeah.
So you have a JDoc include, and then you say type is module, name is, for example, a menu, and that's it. So the whole template is basically looking and feeling like HTML, which is very easy for a designer because he can use his favorite HTML design tool to create his templates.
Wow, that sounds really good. I'll have to have a crack at that.
Well, yeah, I need to write some extra documentation. That's all coming once we have the beta there. But if you look at the templates that are already in 1.5, you will probably see how it works. It's very, very easy.
Okay. Getting back on topic, I suppose we can describe them as unfunded Summer of Code students. the guys that decided they wanted to participate despite the fact they missed the cut.
Yeah, those guys. Well, and a huge respect for those guys because they're basically not going to get paid, so they're doing this in their spare time. For them, the stress is a little less, so they can take it a little less, and they can work at their own pace.
Yeah.
They can also work after August when the summer of code ends.
Yeah.
But we have two of them, and it's very cool that those guys decided to still go on with the endeavor.
So once Matthew Rodley?
Yeah, he is doing the web dev project.
Yeah.
And he will be mentored by Mark Whittington, and Mark is the well, I'm not sure if chairman is the right word, but he is the organizer of the Boston PHP user group. It's also the guys where we made our presentation in April.
Yep.
Maybe something about web dev. Web dev is a protocol that allows you to work with content that is in a Joomla website, just like it was a file. And there are a lot of tools out there that support web dev.
Yeah.
So a content item in Joomla is not really a file. It's text that is stored in the database. But if you implement the web dev protocol and then you use an application that supports web dev, you could go to your Joomla website and find a content item you want to edit, and then it would be presented just like it was a file.
That's very clever.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it's very powerful, and there are a lot of tools that support it. So we believe that a lot of cool stuff can be done with web dev.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot. Semantification of Joomla. that really reads as a very interesting sentence. What's semantification of Joomla?
Well, before I dive into that, I just wanted to add one little thing about web dev.
Go on.
To make it very, very simple, web dev would allow you, for example, to take your OpenOffice installation and edit your Joomla content right in your OpenOffice installation.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, yeah, but it sounds so cool.
Sorry, I hadn't forgotten. It is extremely exciting. I bet you couldn't do it out of Windows.
Not sure.
Microsoft Office. Go on.
Well, it could be, but it supports it. I've never tried it. Yeah, so, but in the meantime, I have a difficult question, right?
Yes, you did. I'm not going to let you escape. Semantification of Joomla. And who? Okay. And I want to know what it's all about.
Well, first of all, semantification is a project proposed by Fedor, and he is a master's student. He's writing his thesis on this subject.
Yeah.
So he will probably be with us for a longer period than just the summer of code.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that he still decided to go with it. It's not a very huge priority for 2.0, but it's still a very, very interesting topic to research and to implement. What semantification basically means is that it's all about the semantic web. The semantic web basically is all about adding semantic meaning to everything. And semantification, or this project, and it's a little bit hard to understand, but it's going to research what we call OWL, the Web Ontology Language. For the people that know RDF, well, for the people that know, and everybody knows that these days are news feeds, RSS,
yeah.
and have your news feeds reader. Well, that's based on RDF, and RDF is the research description framework, and the web ontology language is basically the bigger brother. And what we will be trying to do is to implement this in Joomla 2.0, or at least research how it can be implemented.
Okay.
I will try to give you an example, Nate. That might be easier. In 1.5 we have, as already told, about sections, categories, and items.
Yeah.
But it's very, very generic. Now, for example, you would want to specify this more based on the type of website, the goal of the website, or the type of organization running the website. And you could, for example, create ontologies around a tourist agency, an online shop, university, a library, and then the ontology would be like a structure or a template that is used by the website and the developers and content managers for building the information architecture of that website. So for a tourist agency, you would probably talk about destinations and probably also about the different kind of users, like you have people that are going on a summer holiday, or
backpackers, or whatever.
Or backpackers, or those different types.
Okay.
And then,
so you can really, what I'm hearing from you in my journalistic mind is where you're giving, with this research, you're giving people the ability to personalize things a lot more.
Yeah, something like that. So that, yeah, and because you're using this this web ontology language, it will also be very easy to export it to different formats, like for example to PDF or DocBook, or even to import it, because if it uses the same protocol, then it's easy to convert one ontology into another, etc. So your data would become more rich because there is a lot more semantic meaning attached to it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Would it be foreseeable that the semantification could end up being used a bit like language files? Could they be shared around?
Yeah.
So
that's the idea.
So if somebody creates something for the automotive industry that's basically got all the bases covered, it could be something that could be used in different countries where it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, and then you could import it and convert it or into another format and stuff like that.
Wow. Well, I tip my hat to Fedor. If he can pull this off, it'd be pretty great.
Well, it's not something that it's really on the list for 2.0,
Yeah.
but it's something that that we really wanna research, and we have this great opportunity with Fedor because it's going to be his thesis, and he's going to use this as the practical part of his thesis. So we're really looking forward to the research he's going to do.
Well, I think you did a good job on that, Jinx. I'll give you 10 points for that because I understood it.
Well, I still need to get my head around it fully because it's all very new stuff.
So and is it Shane is mentoring that project?
Yeah, Shane is mentoring Fedor. Well, the problem with this topic is that we don't really have a mentor that knows a lot about it. It's a very new technology.
So it's just a brave new world, and maybe if there's someone out there that knows more about it than Shane, might like to put their hand up.
Well, probably, and if there is someone who is interested in helping us in mentoring Fedor, that would be great.
Yeah.
For the moment, Shane is the brave guy who is also diving into the unknown.
So I've taken up enough of your time, and I've been told by some of our listeners that my shows go too long, so I'm going to wind this up, mate.
Okay.
I think we should really mention the fact that we've got 5 community members working on Google's Summer of Code, so I'll leave that to you because I think that's significant.
Yeah, That's true. We have 5 community developers mentoring the Summer of Code, which is excellent. And they're working together with our core developers. They're the actual mentors, so that's actually a great achievement. We're very happy to have these guys.
So we got plenty of gurus hanging around.
Yeah. Frightening.
Well, Jinx, once again, it's been very enlightening, and I look forward to talking to you probably sooner than the last time I spoke to you. So,
well, probably with 1.5 going at this space, it will be soon, I hope.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Ow, I just fell down the stairs.
Please hang up and try again.